Once an ordinary office worker, he toiled from dawn till dusk. One day he was whisked away to another world, reincarnated as a pampered young master obsessed with indulgence. But this man would one day raise 5 villains destined to destroy the world. I did it all to protect my peaceful life. From wage slave to count's heir, he'd hit the cosmic jackpot. I arrived only to discover I couldn't read a thing. Wasn't I supposed to understand the language after transmigrating? My servant quietly pointed out the book was upside down, so the former me really was hopeless. That night's lavish dinner left me speechless, a world away from the hunger of my old life. A maid even offered to help me bathe before bed. In an instant, I became a pampered young noble, living a life of endless feasts and leisure. I still had no clue where I was. The maid informed me, "Young master, your brothers return tomorrow. Please rest early tonight." Her words confused me, but she went on. "It's young master Leo and young master. Do you really not recognize your own family?" The name family sent a chill down my spine. It echoed with a haunting familiarity. The more I thought, the more this place felt familiar. Is this psychedelia? A psychedelic journey? The same job change RPG I played as a corporate drone. No matter your choices, the game ended the instant the 5 deadly sins emerged. Total annihilation, nothing left behind. The family was a minor noble house that showed up before the main story began. Despair flooded my chest as I realized where I was. Why on earth did I end up in the first country doomed by the 5 deadly sins? Even worse, why did I end up as the Count's third son? For a moment, I almost longed for my grueling 8-day workweeks. Realizing this world had just 10 peaceful years left was even harsher than waiting on 6 months' pay. Just as I was brooding over my lack of cheat skills or hero perks, froze. He realized the story he knew was set 10 years ahead. Did that mean he could see the future? I'd stopped the destruction before it started, and to protect my peaceful aristocratic life, I chose to reform the 5 deadly sins myself. 2 months later, Ivan reported that he'd rescued all the orphans from the Eastern Bio-Experiment Lab and entrusted the orphanage to a girl named. Nodded approvingly. I knew I was right. You're impressive. Ivan tilted his head. My lord, was that praise because your face isn't giving it away? Laughed Ivan. I'm relying on you. My face should show an emotion. Now I couldn't hide a single emotion. Ivan was a rare, trustworthy figure in psychedelia, so hired him the instant they met. Ivan spoke up. My lord, that raid you did it to save, didn't you? He now understood why I had singled her out. His mercenary instincts told him this girl was anything but ordinary. She was powerful beyond his wildest imagination. Hard to believe she'd let herself be locked away without a fight. Why didn't you bring her back, my lord? Was all this for nothing? Ivan was right, but this was just one piece of his grand plan. Hailed from the Monster Blood clan, a strange lineage empowered by pacts with otherworldly entities. Forged by tragedy, she became the sin of wrath, one of the 5 deadly sins behind countless deaths. If she'd known peace, she might never have joined the catastrophe. Answered quietly, not yet. Ivan stiffened at his words, commanded him to keep this hidden and secretly provide generous funds too. He handed Ivan a sealed letter, telling him to deliver it to her himself. Ivan was stunned to see his young master writing a letter and swore to deliver it without fail. Watched his knight vanish down the stairs. He doubted the plan would calm her, but it was worth a shot. The letter's secret message echoed a mantra from the game, repeated countless times. The High Archbishop called it a soothing sigil, able to calm the cursed bloodline. Night is purgatory, holy light redeems. A single thread of salvation leads back to the Lord. That line first surfaced when Wrath debuted in the game. But the Archbishop's chant came too late. His spell failed. 10 years ago, this might have actually worked. Stretched lazily, one sin down, time for the next. Relying on one sigil to reach a monster might be naive, but if her kind worships outer beings, there's still hope. Fanatics defy all common logic. Ivan buckled under her magical pressure, the girl's eyes cold and unreadable. He stared speechless. Ellen, the one who wrote the letter, finally spoke. Why didn't you take me to him? Why? Ivan broke into a cold sweat as the overwhelming aura pressed down on him. Only a master can wield magic like this. Tense, he remembered his young master's words. Not yet, he replied. Nodded knowingly, sensing a promise only the master understood. Emotion surged. Ivan's hand clenched his sword instinctively. Her smile was sweet yet wild. Now I see what he meant. Meanwhile, slept, lost in lavish luxury. The next day, he delved into the 3rd deadly sin. I've rescued the 2nd child, my lord, Ivan reported. Good. Asked, were you gentle with him? The study door burst open. The Count's 2nd son strode in. He sneered at, well, studying now, little brother, still a worthless brat with your nose in a book. Your brother speaks, answer him, sighed inwardly. How did the original owner endure this? He longed to resist but couldn't. He bowed, if you need the room, I'll go. Tonio smirked when a dagger slashed past his face. Thunk, it lodged deep in the wall. What are these pests squawking about? Both of you out, I don't want bloodshed this early, commanded Leo, the eldest son. Vanished as the two faced off. Despite their immense power, the mighty family was the first to fall. One brother rose as the Flesh King, ruling the underworld. The other became the Poison King, master of the drug empire. Determined to protect his comfortable life, chose not to provoke his brothers, at least for now. All I want is a quiet, happy life as a nobody. Back in his room, Ivan noted that the second rescue child was unusual too. He was stumped. How could a boy who struggled to survive know the secrets of distant lands, biolabs, and slave markets? Asked, so are we sending this child to the orphanage too? Ivan had no idea this strange boy held the power to end the world. Inside the United Kingdom Alliance, at the heart of slave market, bought the second boss, Macron. Enslaved, tortured, and passed from master to master, he was forged into the very embodiment of sloth, one of the 5 deadly sins. He crushed kingdoms with such ruthless power that players trembled at his name. Despite his slothful title, he was relentlessly diligent, so warned Ivan again and again, treat him well. Feigning calm, ordered, stick to the cover story, it's not time yet. The letter seemed casual, but true feelings seeped between the lines. The boy stood awkwardly apart from the other orphans. A chilling voice hissed in his ear, you're already broken. Those scars proof of that thing, aren't they? Rejoice, the great moon has chosen you. Savor her gift, unleash it. Pledge your loyalty, follow the chosen one. Your revenge awaits. Now go greet them gently. As search for the third boss, Ivan burst in. My lord, something terrible has happened. The second son, he's gone. Ad's funeral. Cradling 2 women, the count muttered in boredom. When will this tedious ceremony end? Gaped in shock, his father using drugs at his son's funeral, flanked by women. This world was darker than any fantasy, he thought. Even games weren't this twisted. Yet's early death didn't fit the timeline he recalled. Something had shifted. In the game, his death was meant to come only after a brutal battle with Leo. Now Leo grinned like a lottery winner. Clearly the killer was him or someone on his team. Didn't care, his sole mission was to wipe out the 5 deadly sins. A year later, with the air crisis resolved, Leo seized control of the drug trade, bringing fleeting peace to the household. Avalon became pen pals, slowly building trust, proof that kindness always comes back around. Through the letters, learned the orphans were thriving, mastering every game of stealth, and captivating everyone with his puppet shows. The newest sponsorship list made him frown. Why was the orphanage's funding skyrocketing? Ivan announced, the Information Guild has a lead on the child. His heart soared, he had finally found the one. He murmured, such a peaceful night. In his drug hub, a bald man praised Leo, the Count's eldest son, his payments always generous. Our group has swelled to 100. But when they got back to base, they found bodies strewn everywhere. The men stabbed themselves frantically, their screams for help echoing in chaos. No matter how they fought, death always claimed them. A hooded figure stepped from the alley's shadows. Another stellar puppet show tonight, time to watch the sponsor list grow. But remained clueless. What's the point of killing trash like them? How does that serve revenge? Answered, everything we do is to prepare for the Great One's return. We can't welcome him here, it's far too shabby. Every action serves his will. We the Blue Moon are his sword. 2 years vanished as and exchanged letters. That day, a weary Ivan sought out his master. He finally discovered him in the back garden. The 5th child arrived safely at the orphanage. Had saved the last 3 sins. Despite the agony and danger, he relentlessly drove Ivan to uncover greed and triumphed. Take a few days off, Alan said. The orphanage mission is done. Even I hadn't anticipated things would go this smoothly. In Psychedelia, each boss embodied a deadly sin shaped by their tragic past. This world was their light before darkness consumed them. Rescuing them before they fell was nearly impossible. At first, feared his rescue might have come too late. He asked, how's the orphanage? Ivan gave a faint smile. As peaceful as ever, my lord. The once broken, doll-like children now radiated joy. They no longer needed anyone to look after them. Hadn't expected to run the orphanage so well. Maybe she genuinely enjoyed it. As read her letters, she couldn't shake the feeling that was truly kind at heart. Everyone thrived, the orphans grew quickly, worries faded, and newcomers settled in with joy. Pride sparked in his chest as under his guidance the 5 deadly sins grew up ordinary. Ivan asked, my lord, when will you meet them? You always say when the time comes. To Ivan's shock, never planned to meet them. Befriending them had its perks, but their monstrous transformation was terrifying. Even in the game, those kids were pure trouble. Rescuing them early didn't erase that fear. He muttered, maybe in 5 years. He must power up fast in this dark fantasy realm. Blessed with rare magical talent, this body was extraordinary. Suddenly Ivan asked, my lord, have you heard of Blue Moon? A bold new group is shaking things up, hunting down criminal syndicates. Shrugged, just another cleanup crew gone before you know it. Ivan fidgeted, they've killed nobles, my lord. Froze, from now on you'll sleep in the room beside mine. Back at the orphanage. Led the meeting, status of the North. The sin of pride answered, I ripped the heads off every slaver. They had no idea who I was. I said, guess my eye color and you live. Not one got it right. Greeds ensured every body was properly buried. By the door muttered, the South's finished too. I tore apart that illegal biolab and those arrogant Avalon bastards with my own hands. Smiled with satisfaction, good, all is unfolding as the Great One intended. We live to honor the Great Moon, spoke Avalon's boss, the Count's eldest son and the Great One's superior. While clearing the South, I discovered an order. The Count's heir is after the Great One. A terrifying aura erupted from in an instant. The other two sins quaked with fear. The report was clear. When the Count dies, eliminate her quietly. The letter turned to Ashen's fury. 2 years later, the Count was dead. Officially, heart failure was the cause. The drug overdose made the cause of death clear. At the funeral, Leo's focus was fixed on Blue Moon. No one grieved the Count. The ceremony faded to silence as Leo's gaze locked on. Back in his room, packed his things and told Ivan to do the same. Noticing his confusion, declared, we're leaving. Just below. You mean, my lord? Nodded. He was set to move to the southern village in territory. All of it unfolded beneath Leo's watchful eyes. Golden toast, eggs just a bit scorched. Savor the moment, a rare taste of peace. It survived just 3 days. He returned to the manor, this time for Leo's funeral. He was back at that blood-stained house, unbelieving, shattered. How could Leo be gone so soon? The sword pierced the heart. Who could be behind this? His question made the guards flinch. Forgive me, my lord, I met your gaze by mistake. Scowled, what is wrong with you? Ivan burst in with urgent news. My lord, he whispered, they say you erased Avalon in a single night. Stood frozen by the words. A hush swept over the room. The truth is, the day left for Rod. Leo lingered by the gate, watching the carriage depart, conflicted. Should he kill him or let him go? They were meant to kill me once father died. Who would guess that Brat volunteered for the border? Now they won't have to get their hands dirty. Lately the chaos in Avalon had Leo on edge. Everything grated on his nerves. He commanded his men to follow the carriage. Should I take him out? Asked, making Leo freeze. The once loyal was finally questioning him. Your job, Leo snapped, is to obey. Shhhajoy, the blade pierces his chest. Leo trembled, gasping, you dare betray me? No, of the Blue Moon replied coolly, war games have always amused me. You've kept me entertained all along. The Red Moon gave us a creed. The Blue Moon wields the Great One's blade. We obey my command, no one harms the Great Moon. Erased before they move. I've waited 2 years to hear you say that. With Leo's final curse, smirked, Avalon had vanished from the continent the moment you spoke. What a pity. The Great Moon has already given you a chance. In an instant, wild, carefree days vanished, gone as swiftly as a trial card expires. He was now blamed as the mastermind behind Avalon's fall. Sighed, wondering how it all went so wrong. Ivan reasoned, only you gained, my lord. We left the estate and Leo died. You've got the perfect alibi and every right to claim it. Now that Avalon's gone, you're safe. That means you're the hidden lord, commanding assassins as skilled as. Was speechless, no group in the game could ever manage this. Realization struck Blue Moon, could it be them? Ivan shook his head. No, my lord, Blue Moon never leaves without a trace. Avalon's corpses lay cleanly slain, no marks, no symbols, just pure hell. Frowned, Blue Moon wasn't even in the game's files. A tiny guild like that couldn't be behind this, so who was? Inside the orphanage, asked, did anyone leave any traces? None, I answered coolly. Twirled her dagger, smirking over the bodies she'd left behind. Suddenly, the last two sins appeared, Avalon's final 486 soldiers at their side. Obeying the boss's order, they were all sliced in two. Avalon, once ruling power, vanished in just 5 days. Cleanup's not over, Sheridan suddenly declared. More nobles are tied to Avalon. The Altair family is deeply connected to them. Paused, you already know what I'm about to say, don't you? Magic swirled around each member like a storm as they silently eliminated their targets. Asked, any trouble with the Intelligence Guild? All clear, announced, holding up a document. The guild says this has nothing to do with Blue Moon. They believe it's simply a hell forged by the... Don't let the Great One find out, commanded. He never gave the order, yet they still tried to hurt him. You are my blades, blades don't think, understand. Blue Moon moves only on command, remember that. He sees all, never let him down. Couldn't fathom why, with power to shake nations, feared discovery. He bowed his head, everything is for the Great Moon. After the funeral, was overwhelmed for a month. He only craved a life of effortless luxury and honor. But with his brothers erased from the original story, the weight of his entire family now rested on his shoulders. Sighed as his formerly lazy servant sprang into action. Looks like I'd better look busy too. Meat sizzled on the flames. Ivan stared in awe. Just 2.5 years of self-study and you've already reached second rank. Remarkable, my lord. It takes years of study and innate talent to master this level. Without both, magic fails. Mastered magic solely to defend himself. To master it, you must control mana with flawless precision. What's the use of this useless power? He never dreamed he'd wield real magic in a fantasy world. He was speechless with excitement. but now he noticed how small his manicure was. Like your body type in sports, it's something you're born with and you can't change it. His flow was embarrassingly weak compared to others. Training alone could never bridge that gap. Lost in thought, he's jolted back by Ivan delivering an invitation to a noble ball. The next evening, arrived at the ball with Ivan by her side. A lavish gathering in Southern, where nobles mingle and forge alliances. With his official title as Count approaching, seized this chance to forge crucial alliances for a peaceful future. Naturally, nothing went as planned. All eyes fixed on him, fearful, whispering, trembling. Some even panicked, trying to remember every rule. Stopped cold. He'd seen it coming. They must think I have zero style, he fumed. With resolve, he fixed his collar, time to unleash those hidden social skills. A red wine like no other. That scent absolutely exquisite. He flashed a charming smile. Her face drained of color. She bolted in fear, yelling that her father would handle everything immediately. Once again, the story veered off's path. She's probably just shy, he muttered, defeated. Horses, citrus tea, veranda crafts, wine, each lavish gift left Ivan whistle awestruck. Never knew the family's infamy ran so deep. After killing his two villainous brothers, he became a figure so feared, no one dared meet his gaze. Overwhelmed, he rushed to the window for air. To him, a striking red-haired girl watched his every move. Under the stars, wondered, when did it all begin to unravel? A gentle voice interrupted his thoughts. Excuse me, could we speak in private? Under his watchful eyes, the girl spoke. I'm third daughter of Duke Altair. His face hardened at the mention of Altair. The Altair family, northern scoundrels, one of psychedelia's three great shadows. He thought anyone daring to face me now is anything but ordinary. She was never even in the original game. I need your help, stated flatly. If I hesitate, I'm dead. Her voice shook, but her gaze remained steady. Please hold back. My father's dying and my sister's assassins will come before dawn. That's when realized she was meant to be dead. That's why she never existed in the game. He turned down half the Altair fortune without a second thought and walked away. He thought, if I can't protect myself, how could I ever protect her? Watching her powerless silhouette, he murmured, something good is coming. He had no clue those few words would rewrite her destiny. Suddenly, a stunning redhead approached him with a confident smile. Turning around, he saw a new player had joined the game. Only the extraordinary ever dared speak to him. His underworld was ruled by three great powers, Northern Altair, Eastern, and Western. Before him stood eldest daughter of the Count. In contrast to the unruly, the ruled their empire with criminal precision. Was set on protecting his laid-back life, and wanted no part in any of it. Asked to have a word with him, refused her request with polite resolve. Her smile matched the rumors. Curiosity sparkled in her eyes as she eagerly anticipated their next encounter. Her parting words echoed, unsettling. The next day, Ivan faced a vast, plunging valley. This was his real purpose. That dull, noble ball was just a cover. His true objective awaited in the infernal southern labyrinth. Conquer 8 riddles, and the rare artifact would be his. A gamer, he knew the entire by heart. Seeing the massive structure in person sent a chill through him. It was no longer just pixels on a screen. Standing inside, it felt nothing like gaming. Monsters soared above, only to be crushed by moving stone walls. One mistake here is fatal. Ivan stared at his master's calm face, bewildered. How does he remain so calm in a place this deadly? 4 years on the job, and Ivan still couldn't read him. He rarely left the estate, so how did he know so much about the outside world? Yet Ivan followed, trusting that every move always led to the best outcome. Surrounded by mounds of gleaming treasure, picked up a simple black ring. Take nothing else, he commanded. The rest will only cause trouble. He came for the ring of binding. Suddenly, dread washed over Ivan. My lord, were those golems you're doing as well? As Ivan frantically searched for a way out, said coolly, I'll handle them. Ivan couldn't relax. His master's only level 2 magic was no match for those golems. His eyes widened in fear. Invokes the oath of binding. Suddenly time stood still. Bearer of divine fragment, declare your 2 chosen restrictions. In the original game, this was a choice screen. A hollow voice echoed, dungeon reward updated, binding acquired. True to its name, the black ring offered power for self-imposed limits. Under its watchful gaze declared his condition. With every spell, I must form the Babylonian hand seal to claim a fragment of world-bending power. The star-spanning eye granted his wish. He proclaimed the second rule. With every spell, I must chant Babylonia's sacred words to summon that power again. The colossal presence paused in silence, worried he'd made a mistake, even after perfectly copying the skill icon from memory. In this trial, harnessing seals and divine phrases was crucial to unleashing maximum magic power. As a seasoned player, he mastered every gesture and incantation. A mighty voice echoed, mortal who recalls the forgotten god, accept this gift. Heavens will shall guard you. Light burst from the black ring on his finger, the pack was whole. Time moved forward again. Ivan lunged forward, desperate to stop him. But this was no ordinary thunder orb. This one pulsed with a whole new energy. Zmargd. Time to unleash the power sealed by hand and sacred words. Mana erupted into the air with his chant. A massive lightning sphere crackled to life. His hands danced through a flurry of intricate seals. Lightning roared, unleashed by divine words and gestures, and shattered the colossal golem with one blow. Gazed at the faintly glowing runes on the ground, Ivan's eyes shot open in shock. Unbelievable, my lord, have you concealed your true power all along? After 15 years as a mercenary, he'd never witnessed anything like this. Was this truly just a Tier 2 spell? His calm reply left him speechless. Had no clue what was happening. The game had never unleashed power like this. Psychedelia's turn-based combat lets players boost every spell with a single rune or incantation each round. He just unleashed a chain lightning spell. 5 amplifications shouldn't cause this much destruction. His mind echoed with the words of that towering figure. Heir to the gods' will, what did that truly mean? Ivan stumbled out of the labyrinth and collapsed, drained and trembling with fear. He couldn't fathom who created this nightmare. Suddenly recalled its other name, the Labyrinth. The title surfaced briefly during a special event, hinting that the Labyrinth once had a master. And so he really made this. Before Ivan could reply, pulled him up. Let's go, we're heading east, you did well. In Psychedelia, matching hand seals or chants to your magic type boosts your power. Unlike simple stat boosts in games, each incantation visibly transformed the spell itself. Is my mana control precise enough to detect these differences? Once I'm better, I'll run some tests, he murmured. A shadowy figure observed from a distant boulder. Emerald eyes glinted from beneath the hood. She disappeared in a flash. Moments later, she stood before the whispering labyrinth, a ruin etched with the script of the ancient empire. A greed-bound, bottom-rung hoodlum. Her eyes scanned the wall inscribed with the Sword Master's legendary deeds. He single-handedly drove back the Black Shade and slew the heart-devouring demon. Deciphered it with her ancient library gift. She never imagined the Great Moon already knew about, but could chant spells absent from the library's archives. The very one Queen once served. He was extraordinary. Guilt clenched her chest. The Red Moon's prophecy was true. She followed orders blindly, never grasping the Great Moon's will. A noise echoed behind her. She tensed. You're here. Did you get the info? Shook his head. No. The spy we sent was already dead. His neck snapped twice before I arrived. Frowned. We're heading back. The council needs this report. Silence cloaked manner. H couldn't escape the chilling sting of cold, razor-sharp stare. His words lingered. You're quite famous. The Count's power echoed throughout the land. She was a stranger to noble circles. Her name shouldn't have been known. Isn't that strange? She asked, her father still quietly writing at his desk. He stood silent, frozen like wax. Snapped her fingers, unleashing a swirl of black mist. The Count snapped upright as if yanked by invisible strings. She was the real power behind the family, a secret no one should uncover. So how did he find out? Even worse, he'd already spotted her spies. A guard burst in breathless. Lady, you must see your room now. Her face hardened as she strode down the hall. A lifeless body rested in her chamber. The wounds were precise, no torture, just a clear message. Lips twisted into a cold smile. From the very start, I'd been trapped in his game. As slept in the rattling carriage, the trap closed in unnoticed.
Lately, I've had a strong addiction to watching manhwa and manga recap videos. Every single day, I find myself binging one after another, losing hours and days doing absolutely nothing productive. And honestly, it's getting out of hand. So, maybe we can make these viral videos too. I mean, look at the views, the growth, the community these creators are building. It looks simple, right? But that's a trap. You go down this endless rabbit hole, spending money, losing sleep, hiring editors and writers from Fiverr and Upwork, and still feel like you've been robbed. Because don't forget how emotional the YouTube algorithm can be with making videos go viral. It's unpredictable, especially when the market's saturated, competition's relentless, and somehow other creators are dropping 10-hour videos daily while you're stuck trying to finish one. That's when I realized something had to change. So, I built the solution, the Web2 Narrative Suite, a complete one-click system that handles everything from cropping, script narration, text-to-speech, image processing, and full video generation in one smooth process. Save money, reduce hours of work, and have a tool that only gives you straight results. Click on the link down below and experience it for yourself. And if you want even more tools to supercharge your YouTube recap journey, visit my Ko-Fi and Patreon pages where I drop weekly new tools designed to keep you ahead as AI continues to steal our jobs. So tap in now before you get left behind.